Hey designers, my name is Karthik from Design School for WordPress Beginners, the place where I teach you how to design, build and customize your websites. If you're new here, consider subscribing. In this video, I'll show you how to design a transparent WordPress header using the free Astra theme. So as you can see here, my header is transparent and I can clearly see what's behind my header. In fact, I've added a black overlay, and when I open another page, you can clearly see the background or the surrounding of the header. That's because this header is set to transparent, and you can do all this with Astra theme. And if you want to position these elements onto the center and do a lot more, you can do all that with little bit of CSS. I'll teach you everything in this video, so stay tuned. As you can see here, I've removed all the transparent settings, logo and everything. In fact, we'll pick our logo, we'll design our menu, and we'll also design the button. So we'll do all that from the scratch. So the first thing that you need to do is to go to Appearance, Themes, and get the free Astra theme. So click on Add New, search for Astra. I'll leave a link to that in the description so that you can download it if you want. So here it is, that's the only theme. So just install and activate the theme, right? So once you activate the theme, we first need menu for our header. So let's actually go ahead and create a menu for our header. So I'll just click on menus, nav menus. So I'll just create a new menu which we'll use in our header with the links to the pages that we want. So I'll call it Astra menu, right? I'll say create menu. So I'm actually creating a menu for my Astra theme. You can create as many menus as you want, and then just drag your important links. Maybe this one. I'll add this link. I'll add this link. I'll also add this link. As this is a test site, I don't have so many pages, but if you do, just drag them. If you drag them onto the right, it becomes a sub item. That means it will be available within the drop down. We don't want that. We're actually designing a minimalist menu. So we'll just keep things simple here. So I'll just have 3 links, and let's see if I can find something else. You can also add any custom link that you want. I'm just looking for, okay, I'll just add a category link to my menu as well. So, okay, I'll actually remove this. It doesn't look that good. So yeah, we'll have 3 links. You can add as many pages, posts or whatever links you have to your menu, and just select primary menu. If you want this in footer, you can also select this and just click on save menu. Don't select this because it will add each and every post to the menu, and that will be a mess. So we have these 3 links in our menu for our Astra menu. We can just use it with our Astra theme. So the next thing that we need to do is to click on customize. You can see that I don't even have my logo. We'll actually select the logo as well. So I just clicked on customize. It will load the customizer interface. I'll go to layout first. I'll go to header. I'll go to site identity. And you can see my master Astra menu appears over here. So because that's what I chose there as a primary menu item, it will just appear there. I don't have to do anything. So now I need to pick a logo for my website. So upload your logo to your website and pick the logo and click on skip cropping. You don't want to crop your logo. That will look horrible. So you can also adjust the width of your logo. So you can make it as big as you want. It's always better to keep it simple and short like this. I think this is the perfect width I'm looking for. You can also add taglines and stuff like that. I'll just click publish. So now I kind of have the menu I want. So I'm done with my logo and my menu. So I'll just go to my primary header now. I just need to pick the layout for my header. So I'll just click on this, and it's actually the layout by default. So let's play with these layouts and see how the items are aligned. Don't worry, we'll align these items onto the center using CSS, so you don't have to worry about it. So if you want the logo onto the right, for some reason you can pick this layout. If you want it at the top, you can pick this one. So if you want this layout, maybe you can go for it. I'll just go with the default layout, which is this. So once you pick the layout for your primary header, just click on last item in your menu. So I'll just actually go for a button. I'll just say buy now or any other call to action button that you want on your website. I think buy now is kind of okay. So you can have anything here. So just add a call to action button and a link to the most important page or the conversion focused page or link here. And you can also choose a custom style if you want to. Anyway, so I think I'm also done with this part of the header. So you can also choose various things. So you can also pick the width of the header. If you pick full width, it becomes really big. Let's see how that looks. So the header stretches in size. If you use content width, the width of the header is determined by the width of the content, such as the logo and the menu and the button. So it will be as slick as possible. So just pick content width. So you can also add a border to submenu container if you want to. I don't want to do any of that. It's just a minimalist menu. You can also animate when the submenu item is revealed with drop down. We are not doing it, so we'll not bother much about it. And few other options for mobile alignment and all. We'll come back to it in a bit. So first we'll design it for desktop and then we'll come back and we'll tweak it for mobile. So don't worry about it. So I think this looks good. So I'll just click on publish. Now let's go back and we need to click on transparent header. And I want this transparent header to be enabled across the website. So I'll just click on enable on entire website. I don't want to disable it on any particular page or post. If you want to, you can just pick it and it will be disabled on that particular thing. So anyway, I'll just click on enable on entire website. Also, I want this transparent header to be available on my desktop and mobile as well. You can also set a different logo for mobile, so or for transparent header, but I'm okay with the logo that I have here, so I'll not even check this one. So I'll just click on publish. And how do I set the overlay color here? Well, it's not available within this setting. You just need to go few steps back, even a bit back, and you have that available under colors and background. So just click on colors, click on header, click on transparent header, and from here you can pick the overlay color. You can also set the transparency. So if you set it to maximum, it will be it won't show the objects or the elements behind it. So this is where you adjust the transparency of the header, which is how you do with Elementor or other page builders. You can adjust it as much as you want. If you want it to be completely transparent, you can bring it down to 0 or just a little like that. You can also pick the color for overlay. I'll just go with the black one. So I think this looks better. So I'll just pick background color. You can also pick a background color for your menu on desktop, tablet and mobile. Anyway, we'll first design this for the desktop devices. We'll come back later. So you can pick text color, which is this one. So if we change that maybe to red, you can see how it's there. I just want white. I think white looks better on this. I'll just pick white from here. White looks better. Active color, I'll leave everything as default because I'm happy with that, but if you want to change them, just change them here. Once you're done, just click on publish. Okay, now we're done with designing for desktop. Let's actually switch to tablet and mobile devices and fix our header. So by clicking on this, you'll see how your header would look like on tablet devices. So Let's again go to our primary header, and if you want to change the layout of your mobile or tablet header, just scroll on to the bottom and you see two supported layouts. You can pick either of them and see which one looks good for your site. It's good to have logo and the hamburger menu side by side. It's again a personal preference, so I'll just pick this one on tablet and also the same on mobile, and I'll click on publish. So this is the base layout for my menu, and we want to fix these things if we want to. So let's go back a step further again, and then we'll go to colors and background, go to header, transparent header. From here, when you choose the mobile view from here, it will automatically pick the mobile view in each and everything. So you can pick a different background overlay color for mobile and bring down the transparency if you want to. I'll just go with the flow and I'll actually pick the same color that I used for my desktop header. So maybe I'll just bump it a bit so that it's a bit more clear for the user to notice that this is a header and not a part of the website. You can also change the background overlay of background color of this. So I'll just pick on this. Watch what happens when I pick red from here. It's still rendering my background. So when I pick the hamburger menu, you can see the red background in the menu. You can bring down the transparency. This is the transparency slider, as you may have known. So you can bring down the transparency. I'll actually go with a purple one. So I think this looks better. That's for mobile. I'll also pick something similar for tablet. I'll pick background overlay for tablet. I think this looks good, and I'll pick a background color. Again, I'll go with this. So on tablet, so it's just there, and even this will act as a transparent menu. So I'll just pick this one. So I'm happy with the layout and options for mobile, desktop and tablet. Let's tweak few things on desktop and then we'll see how we can do all that with CSS. I'll hit publish. I'll go back till my layout. So we just made the header readable on mobile and tablet devices. I switched back to my tablet view, and here I want to teach you few tricks that you can do with CSS. And in order to do that, you need to get the class name, and I've already shown you how to do that in Elementor class name tutorial. So you can watch the Elementor classes tutorial to how to get the class name. It's simple. You just right click on any element in the website and click on inspect. When you do that, you get the class name of that element. Don't worry, the entire code will be in the description or either in the first comment, so you can simply copy and paste the code and tweak values, but I'm just showing you how to do it so that you can do it yourself. So you can click on this and you can see that as I hover over it or when I try to click on something, it's showing me that relevant class. I can also view it from here. When I hover over each thing, it will show me what kind of class it is. So as you can see here, there's something called header. So this is actually the class that will highlight the entire header. So I can clearly understand from the HTML DOM or document object model that this is my header. So the class that I'm looking for is this. So I can simply double click and that will highlight everything in the class. I can simply Control C or Command C to copy the class name. Don't worry, I'll share or leave everything in the description. So I'll just go to additional CSS. Under here, I'll just paste the class name that I just copied, and you can remove everything after the first space. So you can remove everything. Boom, it's gone. So the class that I'm looking for is site header. So you just add a simple dot to it. So that will target the entire class, and whatever code that you write here will affect the entire class. So let's see few things that we can do and how to align these elements using CSS. And remember one thing, whenever you change your theme, all your custom CSS and settings that are specific to the theme will be gone. So if you change the theme from Astra to something else, all the transparent header and everything will be gone. So bear that in mind. So you need to either have a backup of your custom CSS or your entire website in case you can restore this whenever you want. So how did I know that this is the class that my header would be targeting? So let's see. I'll simply add a background. I'll say red, and you can see whichever has its background turned to red is my class. As you can see, everything in my header turns its background to red. That means this is the class that I'm looking for. So whatever code I apply in here will actually affect the entire header or the elements within the header. So let's say if you want to change the font family or the font weight of these menu elements, you can simply do that by typing font family. So if you want to have a different font for your header other than your website, so my website actually has Roboto condensed. If I want to have times, just like that, if I type font family and give a name, it will just have, or it will change my text or whatever text within my header to this. That's simple. Let's change that to Arial, and you can see the difference there. Let's change it back to Roboto. You can see the difference here. As I am changing my font family here, you can see the different fonts here. So let's go with times, and you can see it's a different font from my website. Let's actually add a font weight. Don't worry, this code will be available to you. So font weight, let's start with 100. It's not affecting it. 200, just 400, 500, 600. As you can see, font weight 600 adds a bit of weight to the font. 700 does to 800, and it can go all the way up to 900. So based on the font that you're using, if you want to use the system font, you can keep it and just add a font weight. If I remove this property, you can see how that looks like. So just by adding font weight, it makes a lot of difference in the header. So font weight, font family. If you want a different font for the header, you use this. If you want to add a little bit of weight to each text or menu item in the header, you do this. You can also add letter spacing. You can see that. So that will actually make your header kind of stand out. So you can add a letter spacing between each menu element if you want to. So that's another property that you can make use of. And you may ask me, why is the text within the button not affected? Well, it's wrapped within another element that's actually overriding the whole section or the whole container's settings. So we'll talk about that later, or you can individually target the element by clicking on inspect and doing that if you know how to do that. Anyway, just leave that for now. We'll just focus on these elements. So we added font family that will actually change the font of the text within the header. Font weight, that will make it a bit bolder and easier to read because we have a transparent header. So making the font a bit bolder will help improve the readability. We also added letter spacing for unique look, and now we'll add font style. So it can take values. So if you make it italic, you can see how different it looks. You can make it oblique, that will have a similar kind of look, or you can have a normal one, which is the default one. So I'll just leave it to italic. You can also add oblique to it. As you type, it will give you the values, so you don't have to remember them. Just type ob and it will give you the values. You can just hit enter to autofill the values. So this is another neat feature in customizer. So I'll leave the whole code in the description or in the first comment, so don't worry. So we have kind of styled it. So menu item is the class targeting all the menu items or the nav menu, so the Astra menu. So this class will target this because I've found it from inspect element. There's no magic in here, just right click and find it out. I've taught that. Or you can simply use this code. It will always be menu item. They won't change these because they follow conventions. So it's menu item that I've found from inspector. So now there's a property in CSS called position, and it can take a lot of values. But what I'm really interested in showing you is a relative value. So when I say relative, nothing happens. Now I can have properties such as right, which will actually add 100 pixel space onto the right. So basically it will move this element 100 pixels onto the left. If you do the opposite, so if you say left, you can see that the menu is moved onto the right by 100 pixels. I don't want that. I want to align it at the center. So I need to use right. There are other values it can take, top and bottom, but we don't want to place them along top and bottom. We'll just settle with this. So you can either type an absolute value like this one, or there's other way of doing it. So I'll just remove this, or in fact you can type any value in pixels here. If it fits your needs, you can follow that. I think if it looks good, then fine. But there's another way of doing it. So you can specify percentage. So it will say how much space that you need to be that needs to be added onto the right. If you say percentage, it will take the width of the whole header into consideration, and it will add 30% of that width or 30% of the value of the width onto the right. So this will always work. So percentage will always work no matter which resolution you're using. So that's great. So you can use either in pixels or in percentage. So simply tweak any value, either 30% or 300 pixels. I'll just go with the percentage because it performs better and it works better. You can also tweak this value according to your liking. I think 30%, by adding 30% right value, it aligns it perfectly onto the center. So let's hit publish. You may think that you're done designing the header, but the problem with this code is that it's generic and it doesn't optimize the code for specific devices. So if I click on tablet and if I try to view the menu items are displaced by 30%. It's horrible. In one word, it's horrible. So you cannot use this code for all devices because it will screw up the menu items on other devices. But this code will work better on desktop. So how to limit that? Well, there's something called CSS breakpoints or CSS media queries, using which you can do the same. So you can limit any CSS code to devices with a particular width. So I'll add that code so that this code will get executed only when the width reaches or width is at least that value. I've already taught these custom media queries in Elementor custom breakpoints. There are a couple of videos on how to use these CSS breakpoints, so you can check that out on the channel. So I've taught how to change layouts, how to show or hide items based on the width and these breakpoints. So basically this is the code that is responsible for it. So whatever code you add, so this was previously our code. So let me make it more prominent. Yeah, it looks better. So this is the code that we previously added to position these elements in desktop, right? In desktop view. So this is a condition that will execute this inner code or the code which says align menu items onto the right. So this is a condition that will be executed when the minimum width is this value. You can change this to any value. You better keep it realistic for desktop widths. So if the width is 900 pixels, it will be a desktop device. So you can limit this to a desktop device, or you can maybe add a 1080p width if you want to. So as you can see, my screen is not 1080p, so, or the window in which I'm viewing is not 1080p, so it's actually limiting the code. So you will only see this code on devices with width of only this much. So if the width is at least 900 pixels, if the width of the screen or the resolution available is 900 pixels, only then you'll see this code, else you won't. That's the whole point. So this will limit this code from being executed. You can also copy the same code and paste it into this, so that will also limit the code for this. You can have different breakpoints. So you can have another condition for 700 pixels or 600 pixels or something like that, but this will actually settle everything. So let's see how our header would look like. Perfect. On tablet it looks great, on mobile it looks great too. So that's it. So this is the whole code that you need to type within Customizer to further enhance your header. So that's all you need to know. There's one more thing I wanted to show you. I'll just comment this out for now. Don't worry, I'll paste the original code in the description. I'll remove the comments from this code, which is the site header code. And there's one more thing I wanted to show you. You might be asking me, is it not possible to make this header sticky with CSS? It is actually possible. It's supposed to be possible. But the problem that we have here is that Astra have actually limited this deliberately to make this feature available only on the Pro version. Well, what do I mean by that? So I'll just comment the code inside for now. So I'll just paste this bracket here, so it will comment out all the code anyway. So there's a property called position, which I've showed you with the menu item. So position can also take a value called sticky. So you can give it a value called sticky, and it is supposed to make this header sticky, but Astra is not actually supporting it because they've limited it to the Pro version. You could do this with Elementor or any other theme if they don't restrict it, but Astra have restricted that. But that's okay because they've added a lot of valuable features and amazing tweaks and settings to the free version of Astra theme. So I'm not complaining. That's totally justified. And so this is how you make a transparent header using Astra theme. If you're looking for sticky header, you can also check out the sticky header that I made using just Elementor Pro, and it's actually independent of any theme that you install. So you can check that out. And this is how you make sticky headers. This is how you make transparent headers and customize them further with CSS and a little bit of custom breakpoints. Again, check out the breakpoints tutorial and the sticky header tutorial for Elementor Pro and other videos that I made on this channel, so that you'll be comfortable with all the CSS properties. So this is how you make amazing websites, and this will be a part of playlist called Astra Tutorials, and I'll be making each and every aspect of element with the free version of Astra and tweak it with custom CSS. So if you're not subscribed already, make sure you do, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Peace. And that's it for now, and hope you guys liked this video. If you did, make sure to give a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And if you need anything else, don't hesitate to ask. I'm ready to help you. Catch you in the next video. Peace.